Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday and an even better weekend. I hope, unlike me, you're not cooped up working in the office and you are enjoying some downtime and enjoying your family or enjoying trying to make a family. I am going to be covering 3 topics in today's video. The first thing is going to be a new $85 million contract over the course of 5 years. I will be talking about some UK news between Palantir and their UK office and their UK employees and something to do with pension contributions. And finally, I'm going to give you some thoughts about Cathie Wood. If you don't know who she is the leader of ARK Invest. She's pretty famous. She was one of the first people that said, hey, Tesla is going to go to the freaking moon, and everybody laughed at her. With that said, let's get right into the video. Palantir selected by the Army Material Command to support prognostic and predictive maintenance requirements. What exactly does this mean? If you've been following the war in Ukraine, there's a lot of issues with Russian tanks, Russian military equipment, specifically mobile equipment. You remember when they had a huge convoy in the beginning of the war and they could not get their equipment over and everybody thought, oh, this is just part of their plan. What at the end of the day, it wasn't part of their plan. Russia's military is just whack. The problem is they're not doing any preventive maintenance or maintenance care whatsoever on their military equipment. And because of that, their military equipment does not work. The United States Army is hiring Palantir to make sure that their equipment is, in fact, working. Some of the best things you could do with your equipment in general, military, non-military, is actually use it. The more you use it, the better it is. Either use it or lose it. You heard that term? That's what it is. Like an airplane. You want an airplane flying as much as possible. There was a lot of preventive measures happening during COVID because a lot of airplanes were not flying. So you needed a way to do preemptive measures. This is exactly where Palantir is going to come in with the military. They're going to make sure that preemptively a small problem can be fixed before there is a huge problem, i.e. Russia attacking Ukraine, and they don't have the equipment that they thought that they had, and the equipment that they have is whack because it hasn't been used, it hasn't been rotated, it has not been worked on. Palantir Technologies today announces that it was selected by the U.S. Army Materials Command to support its prognostic and predictive maintenance and supply chain optimization efforts. AMC will utilize Palantir's software to support logistics in contested environments, improve equipment reliability, and advance supply chain optimization. The award totals $85.1 million over the next 5 years. I want you guys to read that one more time with me, please. Improve equipment reliability and logistics in contested environments. Tell me that's not exactly what Russia needed for their tanks to have made the convoy. Tell me that's not exactly what Russia needed with all their equipment. There's literally stories right now how they're opening up warehouses that are supposed to have equipment and the equipment is gone. It's not there. And we all know what happened. People didn't spend the money on what they were supposed to because there's no logistics, there's no accountability. And the supplies that they do have, they can't get across the environment they're going over. Why? No preventive measures, no preventive care. You understand? This is going to avoid the same situation that Russia has right now in Ukraine. And I'm just using Russia as an example because that's the example that we have right in front of us. And you could see what happens when you don't use something like this. Palantir for the win. And I quote, "We're excited to support the AMC's predictive maintenance and supply chain optimization efforts. Building upon our years of experience supporting the Army, we look forward to serving the logistics community and mission partners as they address such an essential aspect when operating in contested environments." Palantir software will be utilized to deploy the AIML, artificial intelligence, machine learning, capability that integrates high-volume maintenance, sensors, and supply data. Using a modular open system architecture, this capability will provide a highly secured environment for AMC and its mission partners to develop, test, and deploy predictive maintenance models that can improve equipment availability and manage maintenance costs. AMC awarded the contract following the initial competitive prototypes phase. Guys, I'm going to say it again. Look no further to look no further than what is happening between Russia and Ukraine. This is the exact reason why we got this contract, to make sure we don't turn into the next Russia, where we're a freaking powerhouse, but powerhouse on paper only. Powerhouse in technicalities, but not actuality. Russia was a massive powerhouse, right? Second largest army, second strongest army in the world. Are they even top 10 now? Like, seriously, look what the hell is happening. This is exactly the difference. The system builds upon AMC's existing enterprise research planning and conditions-based maintenance tools to provide a modernized operating capability that empowers users to take data-informed actions to more effectively leverage the Army's global assets. Guys, this is an article that just came out. Palantir scraps proposed UK pension cuts after employees revolt. That's so funny. First of all, it's good. They're able to pay their employees more money. It might hurt the bottom line, but morale is going to go up. So this is very good. And they're doing this specifically in the UK because they want that NHS contract. And nothing can get in the way. So this is a win-win situation. Software company had wanted to bring contributions for longer serving staff into line with newer recruits. So the old staff was getting 10% contributions, the new staff 6%. They wanted to take 10 to 6 and give everybody the same amount. Well, the old staff revolted and said, F you, we want our 10%. Software company Palantir, which is pitching for a huge NHS data contract, has scrapped proposed cuts to company pension contributions in the UK after a backlash from employees. The US-based data analytics company told its UK workers at the end of last month that it was considering slashing its contributions to the pensions of its longer-serving staff from 10% of the salary to 6%, according to 2 current Palantir employees. The proposed change would take effect in January 2023, affecting about a quarter of the UK staff. Such a move would have constituted an effective pay cut at a time of soaring inflation and was seen by some long-standing staff as the latest in series to cut to their benefits. The proposal also came as Palantir is preparing a multi-million pound contract bid with the NHS. More than 200 Palantirians, as the company calls its staff, joined a group to protest, yada, 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 yada. Then it says Shyam Sankar convened a conference call for employees last Monday. One employee described the question and answer session with management as brutal, including a discussion of executives' own pay package. Following the call, Shankar told staff it had scrapped the proposal and apologized for how he had introduced the idea. Palantir has over 850 employees in the UK. Funny thing, when I first started covering Palantir, they had like 250 employees in the UK. They wanted to get up to 600, and now they currently have 850 employees in the UK, and they will keep growing staff. This is a good thing. Let people get paid. At the end of the day, this is good PR, and we need it specifically in the UK. Keep the morale up, especially in these bad times while everyone is suffering. We do have a huge war chest. With that said, I do want to talk a little bit about Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood got out of her position of Palantir. At one point, she had over 30 million shares of Palantir. It's a significant amount, freaking huge. I believe it was like a $1 billion hold at some point in time. So she ended up selling her shares, and the quote was, Palantir is no longer growing in government and there's too much competition. Well. I believe they signed up like $700 million worth of contracts with the government. This is across, less than a year, 1 year, 3 years, 5, and I think there was even a 7-year contract, but most of them were between that 3 and 5 year. Now that Palantir is upping their contracts with the government, there is justification for Cathie Wood to come back in, and she ended up doing tax loss harvesting, which means she took a loss and buys back 31 plus days later. It's been over 31 days. I believe this happened like in February. And now she can justify buying to her investors, and she's buying when the real reason why she sold was because we're not growing government contracts. All of a sudden, we are growing government contracts galore. I mean, you could see it. It's right in front of your face. So there's a possibility that she's going to come in and buy up a shit ton of Palantir shares. I believe she sold at around $10 mark, if I'm not mistaken. So by her getting in around this price, she doesn't really lose. It will be a win-win situation. She gets the tax write-off, and she's going to get buy back in and not like lose too much value in the shares. If she buys back in and starts buying up millions and millions of shares, this is a massive, massive momentum move for Palantir, because it's going to show, hey, Palantir had a problem. Palantir fixed the problem. Cathie Wood, one of our most profound investors, whether you love her or hate her, she has a huge name. It's going to show a boost of confidence like, yo, Palantir is doing what they need to do and they're getting back in, right? Now, Cathie Wood was never the largest holder of Palantir. She was, one of the most famous one, but it definitely would help boost morale and perception 100%. And I do believe that she's going to end up buying. It just makes sense in my personal opinion. And to avoid or, act like Palantir is not growing government contracts after this massive last month. And I believe this is only just starting, and especially it's going to grow more, both within our borders and abroad, outside of our borders, because of the geopolitical uncertainty between Russia, Ukraine, that's escalating, China, Taiwan, so on and so forth, that we're going to get more and more government contracts. Guys, thank you so much. Please give me the likes. Please give me the shares. Please give me the subscribe. I really do appreciate every single one of you supporting my channel. I can't believe that my channel is now past 1,600 subscribers. 1,600 subscribers. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve you guys every single day in and day out. Remember, none of this is financial advice, purely entertainment and education at best. I love you all.